Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Bijan Robinson. That was a lot better, of course.
And I'd be tempted to take him over CMC. So
you're taking Anthony Richardson.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking Anthony Richardson.
So going with the Big Mac with your quarterback 1. What is Anthony Richardson?
Richardson
Quarter
is if
pounder.
we're going to a new restaurant and to like a bar and grill or something. And Kirk Cousins is just like all-American cheeseburger with 2 slices of bacon on it.
Okay. Anthony Richardson's the cheese curds.
Anthony Richardson is the smokehouse burger.
Oh,
Yeah, he's got.
I don't know how that brisket's gonna be,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna order it and see how it is. If it's tender, this is a great sandwich.
Yeah.
If not, then I stick to the
Nice.
all-American cheeseburger. Hey, what's up? We're back. This is Guys on Sports, and finally, the fearsome foursome is
We are here.
all in attendance. It feels good to be back.
the fast foursome.
I'm happy. OTAs have started for some teams.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I mean, all my teams are out of the playoffs and the other sports, so it's time to start gearing up.
Gearing up,
Yeah.
baby.
NFL Films music. Start getting ready for the season. So what's up, guys? Not all at once, please.
I don't know. What's up?
I'm happy to be back. I missed you guys.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Because I felt like the last excuse was weak.
Oh yeah, let's get into it.
Super weak.
Yeah.
Let's unpack
The
this.
cardigans with the oatmeal cookies.
Oh, that was date night.
Did
Puzzle
you?
night.
You don't have date night?
Puzzle night.
The
No.
two cats,
It was
the two
how you
cats.
described it. You said we're going to nestle into the new apartment.
Was that the
Oh,
last
yeah.
one? No, that wasn't the last one.
No, that wasn't the last one.
That was the one before that.
That was
Yeah.
2 ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
No.
2 ago.
Last time was
yeah,
work.
last one
Yeah.
was the work. He was.
Oh, that's right. There was an
Emotional trauma.
No, we can't make fun of that because
No.
it could have
No,
been
we could make fun of that.
Yeah.
something
So
happened. I actually was concerned.
you want to?
I was
I was trying to christen the apartment, guys. I mean, let a guy be.
Were you jerking off?
Everywhere. In the tub, on the kitchen counter, on the porch.
She came home
my
from
neighbors are
work
great.
after supporting the family. She's like, "What the fuck is all this?"
Look, I got you an outfit here.
It's like that episode
His
of
pants down on
South
the
Park.
counter.
You know, it's the episode of South Park where his dad is just like discovers the internet or something like that.
Oh yes,
Yeah, that was me.
that was you. All right, so tell us about the internet some more. You like that segue?
Time to check my social media, to see who loves me online.
TikTok take. Let's hear some comments,
TikTok
bud.
take. We had a lot of successful posts. Hey, maybe the less time I'm here, the better the clips are.
You might be right.
No, the clips. Let me tell you what. I got a lot of compliments about the Roger take.
No,
You
Rocky's
guys are,
Yeah.
Rocky's popping off on Instagram and Mark's popping off on TikTok.
You guys really recognize when you're getting attention, huh?
Yeah.
No, I just
Fucking try hard.
If my
You guys really enjoy it, huh?
when I walk in the house, if Trisha doesn't say
It all makes sense.
really, then I figured I did something good.
Yeah, no,
So
but
she-
you like the attention, though, right?
I like
It's
I like
something-
attention from her. Yeah,
I mean, you built this place, so
yeah, I like the attention from her.
it all makes sense now.
Hey, speaking of Rocky and attention, this is a comment from Dylan Collins from
Dylan,
TikTok.
thank you, Dylan.
This is a remastered clip of you trying to recruit Tom Brady to Cleveland.
That was sad.
That was very
Isn't that sad watching that back?
It was not sad because I don't like Tom Brady. I was just saying, come prove how good you are.
One of my favorite clips.
Wow,
Dylan
that's
Collins said,
Jedi mind trick.
he said, Browns fans need to be studied. Clearly, the franchise has done irreversible psychological damage. He may even be entitled to compensation.
Yeah, see? So that's the same Dylan that voted
Yeah.
for my list.
You need therapy, friend.
He's a rabid fan.
You like that?
like that?
Rabbit.
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 He's a
Rabbit's
Raven.
good.
He's a Raven fan.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
The other two clips are from there was literally thousands of comments on Mark's running back list.
Yeah.
I'm only going to highlight 2 of them.
That was just for me clapping back at these fools.
I think it was because they thought you were so stupid.
The first one I thought was very funny. It's the username is Biden smells like farts, and then they said poop stain level list, Mark. Okay, you got a poop stain level list.
Did you guys catch the one? It was
That
like,
made me giggle.
it was
I went,
said it's not nice to make fun of people that are special.
No, I didn't see that.
I didn't see
Dang.
Must be a newer one.
The other comment was from Brooke Villages, some lady that follows us. Hey, we have a female audience
Female
apparently.
audience.
That's right.
Way to go.
She said, "Are you listing the guys you would sleep with? Because not having Josh Jacobs, because not having Josh Jacobs, it has to be LOL."
That's pretty good.
But then again, what do women know about football? So I mean, that's all you gotta hear about that.
You just berated our one women commenter besides the one that said you
Well,
should
what
be
am
president.
I'm just supposed to take this shit laying
Well,
down?
I mean,
I
you
don't
could come-
think so. I
What
told
is-
you about
tell us
Josh
her
Jacobs
ad.
last year. You probably want to leave
did.
because I told you about Josh Jacobs. Now I'm telling you,
Because
stay
I want
away
to
from
speak
him.
directly to
Stay
her.
away from
Because
him.
I want to apologize.
What's her name?
Uh,
What's her name, please?
then her name is Brooke Villages.
Yeah. Brooke Villages.
Oh, he said it wrong.
Now I want to apologize.
You know what? I'm going to go first name. Brooke, I apologize for this side of beef next to me.
Wow.
Whoa, that's
Side
kind
of
of.
beef.
It's all Chuck
Yeah.
beef.
The worst.
Yeah, so those are the comments. Continue commenting. We do appreciate when you guys comment.
70-30 split.
Unless you're gonna slow cook that thing.
He's definitely marbled.
GUN podcasts on everything.
I'm no longer 90-10.
On everything. All right. So today's show, we're talking about top 5 rookies for redraft fantasy leagues.
Yeah, redraft.
We already did our dynasty episode. We did our top 5 rookie quarterback episodes. So go right back into the playlist for Guys on Sports and check those out. But this is in particular, specifically for rookies in a redraft league. And if you don't know what that is, if you're a first or second year player, that's a league where you don't keep players and carry them over from your roster last season. This is a totally new season where you're redrafting your team. So obviously, I'll let you guys take the lead here, but redraft, the value's a little different. You're looking for immediate impact and not so much long-term implications of your player and where they're going. So with that being said, we'll start with, it's supposed to be you.
Well, let me add here real quick, though.
Are you going to add?
Yeah, so redraft leagues obviously aren't just rookies. So keep that in mind that we're not telling you that these guys should be the first off your board. We're telling you that these should be the first rookies off your board. Keep that in mind in reference to which rounds they should come off the board at. So they're not coming all off the board in the first round, first 5 picks. We're not saying that. This is a redraft league, so there are no keepers, which means all the franchise players, all the veterans are in play here. This is where we would just select the rookies, the ones that we're highest on and would reach a little bit higher for.
And since we're saying super obvious things, this is also football, fantasy football.
Well,
So
I mean,
Zach-
you said redraft and you explained redraft. I mean, you can't
did,
get any
didn't
more
you?
obvious than that.
Well,
for
you
crying
just
out loud.
re-explained it. But Zach,
Yes.
let's go with you first. I thought it was Mark, but you said at the end, stand at the end.
So are we just going with our first? Our number
we start
one?
with number 1.
Why don't
And
we
I
do
think-
number 5?
Hey, how about this? Let's all do number 1 on the count of 3. You want to do
Yeah,
that?
I have a good feeling.
Yeah, because it should be harmonized first.
All right. I'll go. Who's going low?
I'll go low.
What about you? Like going low? You wanna go low?
Actually, I'll go high.
I'll go high.
All right. You guys go high. We'll go low. Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Bijan Robinson. Oh yeah.
That was horrible.
That was real bad.
That was bad. You are tone
But I
deaf, my
think it's
friend.
because you didn't
You know what?
give
You're
us-
not the first person to say
You
that.
want
man.
you want an effect on the voice?
No, you didn't give us the
How about
fantasy, like the sexy song.
Oh yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's. Yeah. You know
so
what?
like we weren't in the mood.
Come
on, baby.
I need you this week. It's your time. Time for a breakout.
We weren't in the mood. We would have absolutely nailed that
Yeah.
if we had been in the mood, but we weren't yet.
Yeah.
We didn't
We
get
weren't
the
in the
sultry.
mood. All right.
I feel it.
That was our
one
one shot. We harmonized.
Yeah.
Let's redo.
You wanna do
count
it
us down again?
Well, no, because Mark said I'm tone deaf, and now I'm conscious about
Yeah,
that.
I know, right? Yeah.
Just tone it down a
And I
little.
don't
Are you
think-
gonna have to miss the show?
No, I can't. There's no place left to jerk off in.
You guys right?
The security cardigan is hanging up, ready for him.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Bijan Robinson. That was a lot better, of course.
Because we were in the mood.
I'm returning the cardigans I made for you guys, dickheads.
What color were they? Do we each get different colors?
What color would you give me?
Solid, yeah.
Phil's red because he's angry all the time.
Mr. Rogers wore red.
I'm Raphael from TMNT. Rocky's purple.
Why?
I don't know. Just like purple's like the royalty color.
Oof.
And he's got the money.
Oh, yeah,
And
that makes
Wow.
sense.
I wish I had as much money as you guys think I did. I actually
You got
do.
enough.
I do.
You got
Am I
more
saying
than
it?
enough.
Mark would probably be, I don't know, blue.
Shit brown. I was guessing
Oh.
that.
Blue because
You're dressed in shit
You're
brown.
dressed in shit brown. Always.
I realized that after I said it. So
Yeah.
I was making a special one for Mark. It was rainbow colored.
Awesome when you
Oh,
eat.
yeah.
I would rock
I love
that.
hearing you chew.
I love supporting.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I support all my communities,
hungry. Listen,
especially
he just
women
came from
fantasy
work.
football
I'm a hungry
players.
boy.
Mark would wear every color
Yeah.
Proudly.
Yeah.
No color.
with pride.
He doesn't
Black
see
hole.
I
color.
would. I'd probably even march with it.
I bet you would.
Right
I
down
bet
the
you
street.
have.
I bet I have too.
Yeah.
I bet those chocolate
So-
chips have swung some tassels. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we don't need to explain Bijan. I mean, that makes
I know.
sense.
I mean,
Yeah.
anybody who's not picking.
Bijan.
All right, so let me ask you, where would you take Bijan in a redraft league? How high would you reach for Bijan?
Where's he going ADP wise? End of the first?
He's actually now going mid to late first.
I'm not taking him if it's early to mid. I would take him at the end of the first round. I would take him at the beginning of the second.
Who would you take ahead of him?
Yeah, that's
Running back wise?
Yeah.
I would take CMC ahead of him. If I'm not getting CMC like at the beginning of draft, then I'm probably going with either I'm reaching kind of on a Bijan if I'm like, I don't know, pick 7, pick 8. I might go wide receiver. I'd never go wide receiver in the first round, but I feel like after CMC, like the number
Who's
2,
the wide receiver you'd take after him?
I think Justin Jefferson. I mean, there's a few other. I mean, you can go Jamar Chase there too. I might even take a Cooper Kupp, which I'm not a big fan of. But I guess my point is that aside from like running back 1 or 2, people are saying like Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs. Like I don't like.
Too risky this year.
I don't think there's really a surefire like stud running back aside from like Bijan, who could be young, healthy, and the king of a rushing attack.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So
I don't wanna cut you
where I
off.
will tell you that I've been watching Bijan go religiously is pick 8. So
That seems fair.
picks 7 to 9, but usually pick 8. Pick 8 is taking Bijan.
So what running backs are going before him?
So you know.
CMC, of course.
So let's not just say running backs, right? Let's say like the first 7 picks because it's a healthy mix this year. So you're seeing you're actually seeing Jefferson come off the board first. Then you're seeing some assimilation of McCaffrey, Jamar Chase. You're seeing Eckler.
Yeah.
You're seeing some Derrick Henry occasionally pops in there. Who else you see in there?
Jonathan Taylor, I don't like either because of
No, Taylor's
what
actually
could
been
be.
slipping a little bit, but
Yeah.
then you also
Good.
you see Cooper Kupp up there. Travis Kelce's always up there.
Yeah.
Did I say Eckler already? I did
Yeah,
say
she did.
Eckler, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much the first
Saquon
round.
marks it, makes it up there. So
I would be tempted, and this doesn't sound crazy, but I'd be tempted to. First of all, he's the second running back I'm taking, and I'd be tempted to take him over CMC. I'd be tempted to take him over CMC
So
because of
he's
health.
my second two.
Because of health, I would contemplate. I don't know if I'd do it, but because of the health factor and just I know he's going to get the workload. I know CMC is going to get it too, but I always worry that he's missed time before,
Yeah.
and I don't know how I feel about that offense yet.
man, I tell you what, if you if you guys thought I got ripped with that Bijan, putting Bijan in the top 5, you guys are going to catch some heat for saying number 2.
I don't care. Well, who's the
But-
guys?
I mean,
Saquon.
But it's a lot of casuals
Yeah.
because as I pointed out last week, I sat down and personally figured out strength of schedule, and he's got a top 5 strength of schedule
Yeah.
in the team that rushes the absolute most,
Yeah.
hands down in the NFL, with a great offensive line.
Yeah. And he's a good receiver. People are underestimating how much I think he's a possibility 30 to 50 receptions.
Like this dude is a focal point, and he looks like he's already built to withstand the 17 games. They always say that these rookie running backs end up hitting a wall somewhere around week 12, right? Because they're used to playing 10, 11, sometimes 12 game seasons, right, in college. And they say that they hit the rookie wall towards the end of the season. And, towards your playoff push is when, you screwed up taking him so high. But I don't know, man. This guy is in like peak physical form. Again, he's gonna carry the torch there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's unquestionably going to be the focal point of that offense.
The other question marks, or the other running backs that are in the first round, all have question marks to me.
Yes,
I
exactly.
think Bijan has less question marks than anything, and the running backs that I like are projected round 2 and 3 anyway. So why would I reach for anything else? I would take Kelce over a lot of other running backs in the first round.
Yeah,
we've talked before about the fact to snag a great tight end.
Yeah.
Like after Kelsey, it drops quite
Yeah,
a bit.
I like Hawk, but aside from T.J. Hawkinson, yeah.
I think the only other question mark that came off of a running back in the first round is, we just got word today that Austin Eckler is going to stay in L.A. and they're going to incentivize his contract. So I think that's really going to take out of play him not playing, wholeheartedly in L.A., having been in prison there. I think now he's going to, resume being Austin Eckler.
But even with Austin, which I do think he's going to be Austin. But
First name.
yeah, well, I mean, when we talk, that's what we call each other.
Yeah.
We're chummy. Come on. I think that the drafting of another wide receiver by them
Hurts.
It hurts.
Yeah, I agree.
It hurts because I think he's always been okay. This is the guy open after the first and second or not. I think it's going to change.
I mean, is it it's going to
Not a
be? I
huge-
think cumulatively over the course of the season.
Yeah.
Does that mean like a target and a half less per game, maybe 2?
Right.
Can add up if you put the.
And because there'll be less touchdowns too.
You got to remember when we're talking about these top picks in the first round, it's like some of the stuff is minute, the difference between them, but you really got to factor in stuff like that. My big thing is, you already know how I feel about Barkley. I love the guy, but his second half of his season, that team wasn't carried by him at all. He regressed. Eckler, it's a running back thing. He's getting older, longer in the tooth. Another pass catcher makes me iffy. I look at Bijan as probably the best prospect for fantasy and running back since Barkley.
Yeah.
And I expect him to have a season like Barkley had in his rookie year where he won Rookie of the Year. So if I'm looking at him versus any of these guys, including CMC, who do I trust more? They just gave CMC money. Are they going to try to maybe, keep
Preserve
the tread
him
on the tire a little bit for him going to get to the playoffs? Like, there's a bunch of things you got to factor in. So.
Yeah. Fair.
Okay.
All right, so 2. Zach,
Numero dos.
take it away.
It was a toss-up for me here, but I'm going to go with, I probably chalk with Gibbs, just being the second rookie that I would take. The only reason is because of the way that they drafted him. They're going to use the guy. There's a glaring stat to me, and I can't remember the specifics off the top of my head, but running backs that either get overdrafted or drafted in the first round in general, they get I think it's 6 more touches a game compared to running backs that are taken in rounds 2 or 3 of the actual draft. And I just think with Montgomery, it scares me because they're going to use him, and I think he'll be really fantasy viable too. But I just think Gibbs, they're going to use that guy, and he's going to be the PPR guy on that backfield, and he's going to be equally scoring touchdowns, just I think in different ways. And I would take him given the right price. I don't know his ADP right now, so I might be not taking Gibbs, but he's on my big board for sure as number 2.
So Gibbs ADP is it's hovering around round 3. I have seen people reach for him round 1.
That's too high.
Round 3 seems to be fair. Yeah. I'll tell you why it is. It's a chalk pick, but it's a correct chalk pick, and the reason being is the strengths of receiver in these drafts are so high right now that you can't reach for these rookie wide receivers in this draft because wide receivers just very, very strong this year in these fantasy drafts, whereas running backs are the complete opposite. So if you feel like you have somebody that you think may break out, it's worth reaching for these guys because running back isn't as strong. And when the running backs start peeling off the board, there's usually only 32 main options at running back, obviously with the 32 teams, but out of those you got to figure only 2/3 of those are true factors. So the price is much higher to pay for running back. So he would definitely be the second rookie to come off the board. That's where I have him too. And again, if you feel like he's going to have a big season, and I do think he is. Monty, they did bring him in for a reason, and they did the right thing getting rid of Swift, right? Swift was a question mark. They bring in Monty. Monty's been solid. He's going to have a fantastic year, too, behind that line. That line obviously protected Jared Goff very well last year. Jared Goff had a great season with not a whole lot to work with, and they even shipped off one of his biggest targets. So Gibbs is going to interject himself right into that passing game. You have Jamison Williams out. Gibbs is going to step up to the plate right away. And again, reach for these guys. Like I said, Alexander Madison for me this year is a guy that you're going to want to reach for too. You're going to want to take him a little bit higher than you normally would because he's not going to be there when you would normally take him. So to that point, guys like Gibbs are great to reach for.
I'm curious to see who you've got at 2, because do you differ from them?
I do differ from them.
Okay. And I think maybe we're going to differ in the same spot.
So I have Gibbs lower. I won't reveal yet.
Yeah.
Wait for the big
Yeah.
reveal. So I like Gibbs a lot. When we talked about our dynasty rookies, he was higher for me.
Gibbs.
And that's because I like him more as a long-term prospect.
Yes.
Montgomery there bothers me. I said that when it first happened. He is replacing kind of that Swift role. But what really kind of gave me pause on his value was, like I said, watching the post-draft press conferences, and Lions GM Brad Holmes spoke about drafting him and how he felt about him, how he felt about Bijan. And he made a point to point out that they're totally different backs, which we all know.
Yeah.
But that he didn't see him, Gibbs, as a bell cow back.
Right. There's
And
going to
he
be
pointed
a
out
split.
that there's going to be a split, and I think there's a very clear role for Montgomery. So
Yeah.
in a redraft, to spend a high pick on him, it's one of those things where I don't want to blow a high pick in a redraft, and I know we're just ranking the rookies, but I don't know what it's going to look like yet. It's
Yeah.
how I felt about Swift his first year.
Yep.
You just don't know what it's going to be exactly. So dynasties, I love them because you have time to see it play out, but I think Monty is going to be featured super heavily, and I think he's going to get his scripted plays and chances, but I don't think he's going to be a guy that you're going to be starting outside of your flex.
Yeah, that's fair. And those are my same reservations.
So
too.
who do you have
Who's
at 2?
number 2? Because I think we had the
you're
same
not
guy.
so I have Jordan
Yeah,
Addison.
I
And
have Addison too.
We talked about it on Dynasty. I just think with the way they toss that ball, 4th and neutral script passing, 2nd and red zone passing rate, he's stepping into Thielen's spot. I think he automatically, if not the first few weeks of the season, he's going to become the number 2 target there.
Yeah.
Hawkinson is great taking on the middle field, but he's going to be getting single coverage. All that coverage is
day.
going to be shaded to Justin Jefferson. You're going to have commit a safety or your best cover linebacker to Hawkinson, and you're going to have your second best corner on Jordan Addison, unless they could put their top and then double and shade. They could do that. I don't know if they're going to do that,
Yeah,
but I like Addison a lot.
I'm in a total agreement with you. I do like Gibbs, and we'll see where he ends up on my list. But to me, you've got 70 receptions, 716 yards, 6 touchdowns from Thielen last year.
And that was awesome Thielen.
No, it
That was
wasn't
an old
awesome.
white man.
Yeah.
And so they drafted Addison to take that spot, but Addison can
worst
do
kind.
so more. He can do so much more than what Thielen can do. He can still stretch the field. I think I like the Minnesota offense, to be honest with you. I think they're going to get some new life with Madison. Jefferson's fantastic. I like Cousins still. So.
Can I point something out? I sent it in the chat. I don't know. We got to put that up. But what you said about Madison, you seen that they leaked the promotional stuff and it has Madison on it.
And no Dalvin Cook.
No Dalvin Cook.
I like Minnesota's offense, to be honest with you, and I think they're going to throw the ball more.
Yeah.
I think Addison is going to be, like you said, single.
Well, you don't go
coverage.
take Addison in the first round if you're going to throw the ball.
Well,
less.
he'll do what KJ Osborne was probably going to do before Addison got drafted, like Mark claimed. And I think the take still stands, but probably with a different name, you'd say.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, like, the reason why I would be a little bit more cautious with Addison in a dynasty is he's slight.
Yeah.
And so he could get injured long term, but for 1 year, I don't care. I just want him to.
Yeah, we don't give a shit about your health after
I feel
this
like.
year.
Well, I mean, if
He can
he's
tear ACL
out of this whole list,
16.
besides Bijan, I feel like he's the guy that could have the biggest, most immediate impact.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I could be wrong. I don't know what you guys think.
I have Jordan Addison at 3, and for all the same reasons that you mentioned, right? So he's definitely going to see single coverage. Adam Thielen vacated a lot of targets, and again, not even the best Adam Thielen, right?
Yeah.
But what I don't know is just how much KJ Osborne built a relationship with Kirk Cousins and how much he will demand still targets in Minnesota.
That's fair.
So I do think that, KJ Osborne, you can't write him off. I think those two are going to kill one another's ceiling, to be honest with you, at least for this year. That's why I'm so high on Addison in Dynasty, because I think in Dynasty, you're going to see that play out, and he's going to be fiddle to Jay Jettas. But again, he is still coming off first on my board because I think Minnesota loves to air the ball out.
Yeah.
Minnesota, we said it multiple times last year that they were fraudulent in the fact that they had a pretty weak schedule and they had a lot of wins, and it was showcased in the playoffs. Just how bad that disparity was. So this year they're going to have to come out. They're going to have to atone for that, and they're going to have to really throw this ball around and put some points on the board, I think. So I think there's a lot of targets out there for Addison.
Well, I did hear that Addison and Cousins are having breakfast every morning.
Oh,
so
that's
cute.
I like that.
They're making each other
Hey,
eggs.
So take that up, put it in a bag, go to our episode last week, go get your Jaron Hall off the free agent flyer wires, stash him on your bench in Dynasty, pair him up with Addison. There you go. You got a tandem for the next 4 or 5 years.
Shit, you can even get rid of Jay Jettas at that point.
Yeah, you get rid of him.
Ship him off.
Pick up Madison. You got the whole offense. All right. Since you went with your third, we'll go right to Zach. Jump into your third.
The reason why I don't have Addison at 3 and I have Quentin Johnston at 3 is because of the fact that I really think Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are going to miss more time. I just think that he'll be slotted into like more of a number 1 role at times. And you got to think about Kellen Moore coming over from Dallas to the Chargers now, and how he made Dak Prescott. He made Dak Prescott think he was like a top 10 quarterback, and a lot of people thought that too. Imagine what Justin Herbert's going to do with Johnson on the field now. I just think there's just more of a concrete like prediction on them. With Addison, I think Addison's going to be great too in Dynasty all over the place. In Redraft, I think he's at my number 4. Yeah, I don't know. Johnson at 3, I think seems comfortable because of the other receivers just being banged up and being on contract stuff.
I have Johnson on my top 5. I do have him lower. It's the same. I guess this is kind of a coin flip because you think they're going to get hurt, and I think it's going to hurt that they're there, and it's Josh Palmer, and now Eckler's back in the fold. So I think it takes a little bit away from a.
Just the same like hunch. We have a hunch again about Addison, and you think that KJ may hurt him. I think that having Josh Palmer, them all three.
Josh Palmer looked good last year in relief.
And Josh Palmer possibly may not even factor in because we just heard, too, that Keenan Allen, they just restructured his contract to keep him in town, too.
Oh, wow. I didn't hear that.
I think what happens is Quentin Johnston now plays opposite Mike Williams, and they're going to just let Keenan Allen own the slot, I think is what's going to occur.
So the thing is, too, though, restructuring Keenan helps if they do want to do a trade too.
It does, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's I don't know if that helps or hurts, and that could help or hurt.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think the point is all these guys are pretty close together. So like I said before, you got to find the little things that make you. At the end of the day, nobody really knows. So whatever makes you feel better about the pick, and you can live with it if it blows up in your face.
Well, I think it depends too, like what you need for your team.
That's right. Yeah, so. I mean, but I guess
you need winners.
So
you need winners,
who do you two schmucks have at 3?
I have Gibbs here, and so even though I do think that Gibbs is going to be splitting a lot with Montgomery, there is a ridiculous 2,070 yards and 25 touchdowns that left with Swift and Williams.
Yeah,
and so I do think that Gibbs isn't a Robinson, but he is a pretty solid running back. I have him at 3.
Yeah, I have Gibbs at 3 too.
Yeah. And vacated production is a very viable tool in fantasy football.
I don't like that I just did that with you.
Yeah. You guys bumped.
Can you do the whole thing and we can?
But it was a weak bump.
Hey,
baby.
They were very
no.
They were very wrist attorney there. Pick 4.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Pick 4, I had Addison. And the reason why I have Addison, I'm thinking kind of opposite with Addison. I feel like has less value because he might be a little bit more overdrafted, I think, in leagues. Unless I'm just big braining it and thinking the opposite and people aren't talking about Addison like we're talking about.
You got to get your mock drafts in, man.
I think Johnson at 3 for me is because of his value in drafts, and Addison's value in drafts is less, but I have Addison at 4 for
Johnson
almost no reason.
He's a bigger receiver. There's a lot to like.
Yeah. I mean, that's a literal fact from you.
Said it all.
Yeah. Big Mac sauce dripping.
I mean, I feel like you're missing your opportunity.
I know. I'm just so enthralled with the. You needed one of these for how big he is. Okay.
So big he hurts.
It's a full moon. Okay. All right.
Come on.
Get man.
My 4 at 4, I have Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's my second rookie wide receiver off of my board, and for a lot of the reasons that we kind of talked about. Addison coming off the board.
Yeah.
I think he ends up in a great situation. He's got Geno Smith who proved himself last year, but small sample size, right? Or as Rocky likes to say, a small body of work. So let's see if Geno can carry that momentum into this year. And if he can, what an awesome compliment to DK Metcalf, right? I mean, you have two just absolute flyers to go down the field. You can now let Tyler Lockett, who's been preserving himself, kind of own the middle of the field like what Keenan Allen's probably going to do out in L.A. You have Kenneth Walker and the two rookie running backs that they brought in that are going to be, teams aren't going to be able to cheat, against the pass because the running game is going to be very strong. Personally, I think Noah Fant's going to have a little bit of a resurgence this year. At least I'm hoping that he's going to.
Hey, you are high on him.
I'm paying. Hopefully he pays dividends because he's my reserve tight end in a lot of my fantasy leagues that I'm drafting right now. But I think Jackson Smith-Njigba. I think he's going to get a lot of targets. Right? There's not very many vacated targets there, so it's going to be one of those things where he's going to have to pull those targets away from some of the other guys. And I think he's got the athleticism to do it, right? So we all know that DK proved himself last year. He really started taking on that double coverage and safeties cheating to his side of the field. So I think Jackson may end up seeing early season single coverage. I really do. I think teams are going to have to be honest, and I think he's going to get his fair share of looks. I'm thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 6 targets to start the season. You'll see every once in a while probably a double-digit target mixed in. But I think he's going to be heavily involved in this offense, and I like him as my 4th rookie off the board.
Yeah, I think they could be a top 5 offense. The Seahawks, I mean, their line is
100%
is solid. They have like 3 good running backs. On paper at least, their wide receiving core.
You want to do one of their bumps?
Yeah. Ours was a lot cooler than that.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll talk about him
explosions.
because he's not in my top 5, so I'll just talk about him now. And I talked about it on the Dynasty show, but it's similar to San Diego. Similar to the Chargers. I just think there's too many mouths to feed. They also last season, I think they ran the highest amount of plays out of 12 personnel. There are 2 tight ends on the field. You're big on Fant. They're going to want to have him involved. They draft 2 running backs. I think they want to run the ball.
Yeah.
I think they want to ball control. I do think they have confidence in Geno, and I think they know he could throw the ball. But I think they want to, towards the end of the season, the wheels didn't come off, but they started wearing a little bit. I think they want to reel it in and keep a good thing going. I don't know that they're going to be tossing the ball all over the yard.
We all know that Pete Carroll doesn't like to run in running situations. So, I'm just
Yeah, but he likes to run first, though. I think that's still the thing.
He is run for.
He would have won a Super Bowl.
Here's the
had he done
thing:
it.
I like him as a prospect too, and I do like him more in Dynasty because they could get out of that Lockett contract next year and save $10 million, and it makes more sense for me there. This year, I don't see Lockett dropping his target share enough for me to really, spend something early on in Jigba. I don't know that I'd be looking to start him.
So who do you have it for then?
Who do I have it for?
Does anybody have JSN at 4?
I don't have him on my list.
So let me go because I have him at 4.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's odd because I actually had Quentin at or higher in my dynasty because I actually see a little bit cloudier of a way for him. I think he'll take a little bit longer to develop. Mm-hmm. I agree with you. There's not a lot of vacated targets, but I think that JSN is going to fill a similar role as what Chris Olave did in New Orleans the year before. I think he's somewhat of a field stretcher.
So is Lockett, though.
Lockett is, but what I also like about JSN is if Geno's in trouble, he can throw the ball. JSN is an amazing route runner. I think he's number 1 or number 2 of the rookies. Mm-hmm. It's between him or Addison. And I think that what he does with the catch, a short catch afterwards. So I think he's going to fill kind of a lot of roles.
I think they call that yak.
Yeah, and I think he's going to end up similar production to what Olave had last year in New Orleans.
The only problem with that is that Olave wasn't really playing with another receiver for like the entire season. I mean, Michael Thomas had a good week 1 and week 2, but Jarvis Landry was like on the Saints last year, maybe.
Or a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, and I think that I think Geno tends to look short when he gets in trouble, and I think JSN will be there, and I think he'll fill that role and get yards after catch.
I think he will be a dynamic yards after catch. I do agree there. I think you can compare him to what like Kadarius Toney can do when he's healthy.
Yes.
Yak-wise.
But I think he's a better overall receiver because I think Toney struggled with actually catching the ball some.
That's true. Yeah. All right, so
he
for
sucks.
I have Quentin
Terrible
Johnson.
attribute as a wide receiver.
I have Quentin Johnson at 4. And we talked about him before, so I'm just going to recite stats I already recited on the last episode. But what I like about him, and it took a little bit of a ding with the Eckler stuff, but I do think they're going to try to get him the ball close to the line of scrimmage. He's a big body, but he accelerates really fast, right? Gets up to speed, breaks tackles. I think he's 11th in missed tackles in the nation, 6th in yards after catch.
Yeah.
So I do think he can be productive if they get him the ball, but as I said before, my worry is that they just have so many other guys that they have to get the ball to. But I think for the upside and the talent, I like him here as the fourth guy. I mean, who else?
Yeah, but Johnson also has a problem catching the easy balls too that you were mentioning. It. Yeah.
We don't.
So who do
Never.
you have at 4th?
I have Addison.
Okay.
I already mentioned.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, he already
sorry.
said that. Yeah, look at
No,
you
it's cool.
trying to
No,
run.
it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
See you trying to run the show that I'm running? Look at that.
I'm getting old.
Yeah. Who do you got at 5?
Number
Thanks
5.
what he meant to say.
I have Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer is the tight end for the Raiders.
Wow, that's a surprise.
The reason I have Mayer on my top 5 is because of the position he plays. I mean, aside from me personally, Travis Kelce or TJ Hawkinson, and I don't see a guy that I like for the next 1,000 rounds.
What's your other guy? You forgot somebody. The Pittsburgh guy.
Oh, Pat Freiermuth.
There you go. Don't leave him out.
Patty
Well,
fries.
I think Mayer could be a guy that could either not be drafted or is one of the late round picks that you have. And the fact that he's filling in for Darren Waller, that Foster Moreau isn't in town anymore, and it's Josh McDaniels utilizing a round 1 tight end with his guy Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, you can see a little bit of a ex-Patriot romance going on, trying to get some Gronk lookalike in town. I don't know. I think Mayer's a good pick here.
I think that Austin Hooper coming to town may cap him a little bit.
Austin Hooper.
I think he will be behind Hooper to start the year.
Austin Pooper, more like.
But I kind of like the pick. I like what you did here. I like how you mixed it up. I mean,
You're
I didn't-
like my pick then.
But I didn't.
Jared Hall.
I didn't do that at 5. I went chalk at 5 because I'm not an idiot. I'm not.
That's debatable,
I
my
can't
friend.
take Michael
That
Mayer.
is debatable.
My 5, we had already mentioned him. Again, Quentin Johnson, there's no reason to keep going on. He is a big body receiver. He is going to play opposite Mike Williams. But, even though they restructured Keenan, if they don't trade him, because I know it does make his contract look a little bit more beautiful to other teams to trade for him now.
So pretty.
But Keenan is going to eat underneath. I mean, he just is.
Hey,
And
yo.
Quentin Johnson is going to be.
I wish I had something at my fingertips right now.
He's
Hey, yo.
Quentin Johnson may not get the amount of targets that Quentin Johnson should get. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I had Quentin Johnson at 5.
At 5 as well.
Boring. Yawn.
All right, so at 5.
I got Jalen Hyatt.
And if I did have a tight end, it wouldn't be that one.
It would
I've
be a
never been
donkey
a
kid.
homer, my friend.
Because I'm
Yeah.
a Giants
I've been talking about Saquon Barkley not drafting him.
I got
Saquon.
Eric Gray at 5.
Dude, why are you coming to Phil, man?
I don't know, because I'm not like that. That's how he is. Let me ask you something. Where's the ADP for Anthony Richardson right now?
Non-existent.
Okay, so
I'll
here's-
say it's very, very late. He's the stretch quarterback when people need that second quarterback to back up. Obviously they're, you're looking at those big leagues are 12 team leagues.
Yeah.
So everybody usually gets a stud. Every once in a while, you'll get 2 or 3 teams that draft their second quarterback before everybody else gets their first. But when you watch 24 quarterbacks come off the board,
Yeah.
because usually everybody ends up with 2, Richardson's probably going between like 22 to 24th
okay, so
of those quarterbacks.
here's my case, right? If you're not going to get one of those top 3 guys or whatever, and this is a little bit of a stretch. For my last picks, I kind of like to swing for the
I
fences.
like to mix it up a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Cause a
because
little controversy.
the other guys here are,
Dip your
like
toes.
Zay Flowers. I don't love his
Whoa.
situation, but like I could talk myself out of it. With him, he, if you wait on quarterback, you go grab a Kirk Cousins late, and you pick him off the waiver, or you just want to grab him. So nobody
Oh, you're
grabs him.
taking Anthony Richardson.
Oh yeah, I'm taking Anthony Richardson.
It took me. I thought you were just going Josh Downs for a second.
No,
Talking
no,
Colts.
No. Anthony Richardson, if you wait on quarterback, like most people do, but I think the upside with him, he's going to start day one, I think.
Yeah.
The rushing, the floor there, he's going to get some rushes at the goal line. And he could, I think, by halfway through the season, he could possibly be your QB1. So for a 5th pick for rookies, the value there, not having to burn a pick on a Mahomes or a Allen, I think if he plays all year, point totals, he could be around top 12, maybe top 10. Don't call me crazy.
I'm just going to say.
And if you could get him at basically for nothing.
Threw like 7 touchdowns the senior year.
Versus who? Who are you going to take as your 5th rookie in a redraft?
I said it already.
I'm saying that for me. Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying in an actual draft.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Yeah.
I think this is a pick that could mean this. You could win your fantasy league
or you
with
could,
this pick.
Or it could be nothing, which means nothing.
But because like if you're picking him, you're probably taking a lot of established talent early. So you may have an all-around great team, and if he does a Lamar Jackson like he did in his rookie year, it could be something that catapults you into
with the caveat of taking a Kirk Cousins or someone of that ilk later in the draft.
So going with the Big Mac with your quarterback 1. What is Anthony Richardson?
Why does that sound so good?
Like the fish fillet, like see the Cobb salad.
Anthony Richardson. No, let me think. Anthony Richardson
Quarter
is if we're
pounder.
going to a new restaurant and it's like a bar and grill or something, and Kirk Cousins is just like all-American cheeseburger with 2 slices of bacon on it.
Okay.
Anthony Richardson's the cheese curds.
Anthony Richardson is the smokehouse burger.
Oh,
yeah, he's got.
I don't know how that brisket's gonna be.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna order it and see how it is. If it's tender, this is a great sandwich.
Yeah.
If not, then I stick to the all-American cheeseburger.
See, here's what I think.
So
I don't
think he's
you're
cheese curds.
Because cheese curds are delicious and they're usually the star of the show.
Hey,
now,
yo.
I don't think that you're crazy at all with this pick, and I'll tell you why I love it. Disclaimer: the reason why he's going ADP 22 through 24 is because it's me drafting the motherfucker in all them leagues. Because I'm usually backing up somebody solid early on, right? Like, I would have already had Justin Fields, Burrow, Mahomes. I've got Josh Allen in a few.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Why not roll the dice with Anthony Richardson? Because I don't really need my first. I'm set with my QB1.
I get what you're saying.
I don't need production from Anthony Richardson. But guess what? Anthony Richardson gets hot, which he's capable of doing. He's going to have I honestly see him having seasons like Justin Fields. I think. Only he's got better weapons than Justin Fields had his first couple seasons. So I think you're going to see more air yardage out of him, but I think you're going to see him run the ball. You're going to see him break tackles, and you're sure as shit going to see him vulture touchdowns from Jonathan Taylor.
I don't hate this pick. I actually, in one of my drafts that's coming up soon, I'm taking him very high in the first round. It is a dynasty draft.
Look, my nipple is hard.
Oh, Dynasty, yeah.
It is a dynasty, but I think he's
That's
got
how
a
high
dual.
I am on him.
I think he's got that duel where he could be good in a redraft too. Everything they're saying out of his camp, and of course you're not going to hear negatives right now at a camp, but what they're saying is the problem with him and his throwing was his footwork, not his throwing motion, and you can fix footwork easier than you can fix throwing motion. So they're saying they've already tweaked it and it's already gotten better.
So the Tennessee and the Malik Willis project.
Oh, wow. I hope it's not that. But to put a bow on it, like I said, when I'm making this pick, swinging for the fences, I'm trying to win. You know, this is a guy, I look at him, like if I look at Quentin Johnson, can he win me a league?
No.
I don't think so.
Right. Yeah.
If Anthony Richardson pans out, he could possibly help me win my league. And in contrast to what you said, I think the real value for him is not spending that high pick on a top-tier quarterback and grabbing another skill position and then rounding out in like round 12 or 13 and grabbing middle-of-the-road quarterback, take my strong team. He's my insurance plan, and Richardson is my break glass if everything goes right.
So you're comfortable with Carr and Richardson then? You're comfortable rostering those guys?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, you hate Carr.
Why? Why do you hate Carr?
I don't hate Carr.
No, you do.
But I'm saying if you take a quarterback that could be near and this is saying this is saying something, but if like you're taking a quarterback that's going to be near like the bottom of a top 10 in like Derek Carr in fantasy, why would you take a quarterback like Anthony Richardson that could also not pan out? Like it makes sense to take like a surefire QB1 like Hurts, Fields,
What do you mean by
Mahomes.
pan out though?
So that's my argument too.
That's what I'm saying. So like if you're taking like a Fields, a Hurts, a Mahomes, whatever, you're guaranteed lock it in, and you take Anthony Richardson. That's fine because
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like you take him with your last pick or whatever, like where he's expected at quarterback 22 or 24. If he doesn't work out, cut his ass, drop him. But if you take somebody like Daniel Jones,
you're not trying to
or
win,
Derek
though.
Carr, then
You're gonna get.
I like how you did that. But,
Well,
I'm not going to bite the bait.
I was actually going to throw Daniel Jones in there
debate.
too, only because even though, and I love Derek Carr this year, and I was going to put Daniel Jones there as well. You're going to get great games out of them, but you're also going to get a couple of duds in there, and we know that. We know
no,
that
you're not.
you could be.
No, you're not.
You could
We're
be
not.
with
We're not.
You
We're
could
not
be
gonna
with
get
two
20
quarterbacks that are outside the top 10 potentially in fantasy.
Yeah, you're not going to
That-
get
that has more of a
consistent
likelihood.
20-point games out of
Yeah,
Derek
but
Carr
all right,
or
so like I said,
Danny
when I
Dimes.
build my team,
Yeah,
I almost never take a top tier quarterback. I just don't believe in it.
Yeah.
Because the chances of one of those guys really having that year that's going to
Yeah.
set them apart
No, I
from the
agree.
guy at 8 or 9,
Yeah.
I don't see the value. I'd rather take I'll take a Derek Carr and eat the 11-point week, here and there, because the guys that I'm going to get in those top 4 rounds, I'm going to feel really solid about.
Yeah, they're going to make
And
up
then
for it.
the Richardson pick, which is basically nothing,
you're swinging
is
for the
my
fences
chance
to
that
recover.
I get one of those
Yeah.
guys.
No, I get that, and then I want to clarify a little bit too, because I don't agree with taking like the QB1 ever where they're supposed to go, because I've beat this bell 1,000 times. Like the quarterback 1 through QB5, the average points per game difference is like maybe a point a game.
So who are you taking then?
But so like you can.
But you can get very good
Say-
quarterbacks in like 5 through 7.
I know,
That's
but
what I'm saying.
tell me the name.
So I'm saying like, so say someone takes Mahomes in the 3rd, someone takes Hurts right after that, then someone goes Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You still have like Joe Burrow, you have Lamar Jackson, you have Justin Fields. I mean, you could even take Daniel Jones there too because of rushing ability. Like I'll admit that. But then if you miss out on that stuff, then you're stuck with like a Derek Carr or like a
I don't hate that.
Kirk Cousins or
you're
something
also
like that.
you're missing a whole nother breed of quarterback.
Trevor Lawrence, too.
You're
'Cause
missing,
I think
you're missing
Kirk
Aaron
Cousins could be a
Rodgers. You're
top.
missing
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins. You're missing
Deshaun Watson this year.
Deshaun Watson. You're missing
and
a lot of those.
Trevor
guys
Lawrence
too.
too. Off the top of my head, I'm saying like you can miss out on the first 5 quarterbacks and still get the QB1
Quality.
potentially of the draft. But if you're purposely waiting,
I would
until,
rather have one of those guys you said, but he just said Derek Carr, and I also would ride with Derek Carr too.
maybe it's just
But
a
I'm
Derek,
gonna,
maybe it's just a Derek Carr
I'm gonna
thing.
push. I'm gonna push back a little bit on your not wanting a QB1. Didn't you trade a draft pick that you didn't have to get a
take-
QB1
yes.
last year?
Yes, he did. And
No, I didn't.
And yes,
To
you
get
did.
Josh Allen, you traded a draft pick you didn't have.
No, that was.
And I
I
also
don't remember
feel like
the-
you can't tell me that if Jalen Hurts isn't there, he doesn't have a huge chubby for him.
Oh,
and
huge chubby. He's back
I mean-
up on the counter rubbing
He
it
is
out.
moving this table up, and this table weighs like 800 pounds.
I mean, yeah, I would like to take Hurts if it was right, but I mean, you can miss out on Mahomes, you can miss out on Hurts, you can miss out on Josh Allen to get Trevor Lawrence, to get Justin Fields. Like I still think that's better than purposely or like methodically waiting for a Derek Carr or a Daniel Jones and then rounding it out with Anthony Richardson, who could be the QB5. Like there's less of a risk with like knowing you're going to get a QB 1 through
Burrows
6.
or-
Yeah. So
If you ever put
my
Trevor
TED Talk.
Lawrence's name ahead of Justin Fields again, I'm going to
His twin
slash your
brother.
tires.
Justin Lawrence, he sounds attractive.
Yeah, so
Lawrence.
Carr consistently
Justin
finishes
Fields with
top
long hair.
15.
that's not good in fantasy.
I didn't say it was good, but it's not
It's good
terrible
enough
either.
when you got
I-
two great
I-
running
I
backs,
can't.
two
There's
great
usually,
receivers.
there's
If my
usually no more than
ride-
12 teams in
I'm
fantasy
saying
league.
if my first
And you got the 15th best quarterback.
If I-
Congratulations.
if my first 6
I don't like
rounds
how you're gripping that, man.
my first 6 rounds are
Yeah.
nothing but running back, receiver,
Because I'm getting ready to bludgeon a little bit.
picks.
Yeah, you're going
I'm
with the
comfortable
skill. Yeah.
with a middle of the road quarterback and then grabbing a guy that has the potential for high upside. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those other guys you mentioned, yeah, sure, I would rather have Trevor Lawrence, but I'm not going to go grab him in the 7th round.
You're not going to trigger me.
I'm not trying to trigger you.
Why the hell would you pull his name out of everybody?
You just triggered
Because
him
I
after he
think-
said he wouldn't be triggered.
Just because I think he's a trendy guy for people to pick. That's
Use
it.
your breathing
grab that
techniques.
Hey,
again.
why would I put Fields as QB1? Why would I be trying to
I know.
trigger
I know.
you?
That's why I'm.
I just think Trevor Lawrence is like
Justin
people are in
Lawrence.
love with him right now when he'll go higher than he should. But any of those guys, like in that Daniel Jones Fields, where they're going to go, I don't know.
I think the quarterback one tier this year more than any year prior it has a bigger range to it. Like I think the seven quarterbacks that are drafted first all have the potential of being the number one quarterback.
Yeah, I would agree with you because you've got Fields, you've got Lawrence, you've got Mahomes, you've got even
Lamar, Hurts, Josh Allen.
Well, and then you got
Trevor Lawrence.
We haven't even talked about
Justin
Herbert.
We haven't even talked about Herbert. Yeah.
Well, he's not top 12 this year, guys. I'm sorry.
That's insane.
So I'm arguing that he could be, I think, a top 5.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Like if you're taking Dak Prescott without Kellen Moore, and then you're taking Anthony Richardson, like you might be with 2 goose eggs.
I would never take Dak Prescott.
It's in the echelon of Derek Carr.
Yeah, but he's not. He's
Dak Prescott. Like taking Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, you know what's crazy is
I would
Derek
take
Carr
Jimmy.
has less weapons than Dak Prescott. So
It's
like,
just a quarterback, man.
I mean, quarterbacks can win your league.
Like 3 of them.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
one of them.
There was like 5
Anthony
last
Richardson.
year that could have done it.
I don't think so.
I mean, that's a fact though.
Name them.
Trevor Lawrence at the end of the year took off.
What about the beginning
Hurts.
of the year?
Yeah,
This guy's name one more goddamn
When
time.
when you're in a fantasy
Oh, yeah.
playoff,
You got to
those
get there,
quarterbacks
though.
win those leagues.
You got to get there.
Yeah, but I think he started taking off like week 6 or something like
who
that.
was your
Wasn't
quarterback?
Trevor
that
Lawrence?
helped you?
Week 9.
I can Google it, but
Well, you
week
can.
9.
It was exactly half the season. It was
Who
week
was
Right,
your,
yeah,
who
go
was
half
your
the season's not
quarterback
bad.
that helped you
Well,
win
that's
the
3.
championship?
Well,
Well,
week 9 is 3
Jalen Hurts.
quarters. It's 3 quarters of the fantasy season. So,
But you got to get to the third one by being good in the second one, which is when Trevor Lawrence took off or started to do it.
yeah, but he sucked the whole first half. So
Yeah, but
he
the-
would just say,
It's a
What
team.
are we-
It's a team sport.
"What's your point?"
Massive
I'm not talking about if he's good or not.
My point is that the quarterback can win you the league.
Certain quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's like 5 or 6 of them.
Well, I actually named some. You said Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence,
Man,
Mahomes,
we are beaten to death
Hurts,
a live horse.
Josh Allen last year.
Beating a horse to death.
I mean,
Well, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts last year.
Trevor Lawrence, that's 4.
Trevor Lawrence couldn't win you
A league.
a fantasy.
He
did.
could
He
the last half of the
No,
year.
did he do that for you?
No, I didn't have him.
All right, so he
Exactly.
got
I had
good
2
for the
other ones.
He got good for the last 4 weeks of the regular season.
No, he got good for
Got
the
good for
last,
the last
9
9
weeks.
games.
no of the real one. I'm talking about fantasy season.
Yeah, but
Your fantasy
There was
season over
only
is
like
week
5
13.
weeks left in the fantasy season.
Okay,
so he
so-
only did good for 5 weeks.
No, he did
4.
good for 5 weeks of the
No,
fantasy,
5, yeah,
and
5.
then he did the playoffs.
Yeah, but
he
you-
was good for 7 games.
In theory, you
the
have
last
to
7
have
games.
You weren't
him
making
be
it to the
good.
championship with him.
dude, come on.
People did.
He
I
finished,
was
he
saying
finished
that.
as the
In fact,
QB1 at the end of the fantasy season.
I think Steve Wise did make the
did.
championship.
Yeah, he did.
Did you just
He
say
did.
he finished as
He
the
did.
QB1 last
Why
year?
you saying it like
QB1 or
that?
QB2
and
or
he
something.
won, but then
You are
that,
out of your
that
mind.
snafu
Yeah,
happened.
but was he his only
he
quarterback
didn't.
all season?
he was no.
When
but
he sucked, was
He
he
was like
starting him?
QB
No, but
like
it's your-
31
but it's your
through
point.
the first 8 weeks. And he
It
finished
would kinda be
the
like
final
riding
9 weeks.
Anthony
he was
if he
was
gets
in
hot
the
at the
top
end.
5
Yeah, I
for
know,
only
but
the 9 weeks.
my point is that there's only 3 quarterbacks that you're going to draft tied as. Like, this guy can win me my league.
QB1
The rest of them,
QB1 in fantasy was Mahomes.
it can be debated whether they. I mean,
I do think that
You're hoping.
his
It was
point
Mahomes,
about
Hurts,
that
and
there
then
may
Allen.
be that 3 may be
Maybe 4.
elongating to 6 this year.
I don't think that's true.
So I mean, like he just named a bunch that
He
could
didn't
get to
though.
hot.
He didn't though.
Well, he did. Mahomes,
Though-
Burrows, right?
I named those.
Fields,
I don't think Burrows is that guy.
Lawrence,
Sorry.
Herbert.
All guys I don't agree with.
Yeah, but he does.
But
right?
good for him.
So that's his point.
I don't give a shit. The fuck are you telling me
I
his
rest
point?
my
He
case.
told me his point.
I'm gonna need that.
You didn't
security
rest no
card.
damn
Can
fucking
I borrow
case.
your security card again? Can I borrow it? Because I'm feeling
Jesus
feeling
Christ.
attacked.
Hey, more,
Why? I didn't. What are you doing?
I need my purple cardigan. God dang it!
you're welcome over to the apartment, but you might be sticking to the floor.
Wow.
Do your cats watch?
Oh my gosh.
No, it's a fair question.
join.
They lick.
No, you gotta
That-
let,
they're the foreplay.
No, you gotta.
Because you have to get to lock them in the room.
This was a funny joke until now. Everything was fun until.
Get the protein, boys.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like you do you lock them in the room?
No.
Or does
If you're one of the
think I
people
missed
that
the
lets
spot back there.
your pets in the room when mommy and daddy are wrestling, you're weird. You're
Whoa.
you're a psychopath.
Mommy and daddy, partner.
Hey now.
When mommy or daddy and daddy or
Mommy, daddy.
More likely.
when anybody is wrestling in the room and you let your pets stay in the room, you need to go to prison.
Kinky.
Like You have to let your pets out. You can't keep your dogs or
what
your
if they're
cats,
into it, though,
your
bro?
birds.
Dude, I forced them to watch, and then I make them. I taught them how to. I
He's
taught
got
them how
a
to.
special chair. It's like a straight jacket.
I taught him how to do like
Watch it, damn it. He
this
sounds
this
like
bark
Batman.
that sounds
Watch
like this bark that sounds like a cheer. I taught him how to do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hello, Peter.
Bring-
Yes, I'd like to report a
Who's
crime.
Who better to critique your style
The ones that can't speak.
They can't
What are
talk.
your, what are
than
your
a dog?
What are your dogs' names?
I mean, you're replicating their move.
What are your
If you were
dogs' names?
smart, you'd train them to bring you items. You know,
Fix me a sandwich.
bring father a
No,
wet rag.
That's my wife's
A
job
wet rag.
afterwards.
I think you took your guinea pigs.
This
and
is
you
the
put
wrong show for
cage
this.
right
All right.
on the bed.
Let's wrap it up.
On
All
your
right, guys.
back.
That's the show.
Wait.
What?
Should we go off our 5
Go off our 5?
for clipping purposes?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
name
yeah.
your 5.
I got to
forgot
remember my
5.
5. Yeah.
All right. Top 5 redraft rookies. I'm going with number 5, Michael Mayer. Number 4, Jordan Addison. Number 3, Quentin Johnston. Number 2, Jahmyr Gibbs. And number 1, Bijan Robinson.
You trying to up the difficulty level? We just said we couldn't remember. Now we got to count them backwards.
Dude, I mean, I don't know.
So
I
we're
don't
gonna
know what to
count
tell
from
you.
1.
In no particular order.
We have to count and remember the things we said
Yeah, but
20 minutes
I
ago.
thought we were doing it in order. All right, go ahead.
All right. 2023 redraft league.
Oh,
this
wow.
is the order in which the rookies should come off your board.
Wow.
Bijan,
What a jerk.
Jahmyr Gibbs, Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Quentin Johnson.
I don't like that you named it like that.
Yeah.
Did that like that.
All right, so I've got my top 5 fantasy redraft. I had Quentin Johnston fifth. See, it was going back. Let me do that again. Quentin Johnston.
I'm not cutting that.
Quentin Johnston was 5th. Jackson Smith Njigba was 4th.
And what?
I had
Say that again?
Let him just
Jahmyr
recap.
Gibbs 3rd. I had Jordan Addison 2nd, and I had Bijan Robinson 1st.
All right, fantasy redraft rookies.
Better not fucking
At
screw
5,
up.
I had Anthony Richardson. At 4, I had Quentin Johnston. At 3, I had Jahmyr Gibbs. At 2, I had, who did I have? Jordan Addison. And at 1, I had Mr. Bijan. Pass me to Bijan Robinson. And that is it, boys. This is Guys on Sports. If you like this, go into our playlist. We've covered Dynasty. We've covered top rookie quarterbacks for fantasy. We got a bunch of stuff up there. Check out Guys on Draft. Like, subscribe, comment, follow us on all our socials.
We're on
TikTok,
everything.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, here on YouTube, at GON Podcast and the Guys on Network on YouTube. Thank you. We love you. Peace.